You know what I mean? And you can ask the average person working on Newcastle, what you think about the Black Lives Matter movement?
It's not the average.
Just ask them.
But it's reasons. Yeah. There's different reasons why people feel like that.
You can get deterred for stuff like that, bro. Like you can, like that's like they had it. They had everybody's attention. It's put like this: when you was in school, right, and you took physical PE, and then you had to take the health part of it, and they started talking about the woman's anatomy and all that. Oh man, wait, I'm paying attention. You got me. Now you teaching me something. You understand what I'm saying? And when the Black Lives Matter, when it all came about, oh, you got my attention, brother. Because I've been waiting for a change for the longest time. Now you got some of us that's looking for it, wanting it,
of course,
needing it, knowing our people need it. But when they started, oh man, everything is all good. But they kept it on one stage. They didn't open up no other channels. They didn't bring nobody in. They didn't try to outsource to this community. They ain't try to outsource to these people. Only thing it was.
But you notice it's a certain demographic. 18 to 25 is going to have a different take on Black Lives Matter than 25 to 35. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's different. You got to remember, you got to have them. It's all right to have us. You know, we done came now and we've grown, we've matured. Trust me, you might not feel the same. If they caught you at 18 in this Black Lives Matter movement, they might have caught you at a time where you wasn't trying to hear it. You just wasn't, you weren't trying to hear it.
He's right. He's right. But guess what though? Guess what? Guess how it's presented? Alright, boom, like this. If you saying Black Lives Matter and you throwing up these 1965 pictures of the dogs attacking us, you throwing up these old pictures, or you even throwing up everything that they do against us, guess what that does? That enhances your rage. So for you to sit back and take these pictures and think that you're going to be peaceful off of these pictures, no, you're not going to have peace in your mind. You want revenge. You're going to have aggression in your mind. So if I present this Black Lives Matter and give you a movement, something to strive for, then I'm going to change it. I'm going to try, hopefully I can change your outlook on what has already been done to what we need to do.
I think we're underestimating the damage that was already done, though.
But don't keep putting the damage, don't keep bringing the damage up. The visual of it can change your whole aspect on anything.
See, the damage can't be an excuse to be one way. Mm-hmm. This is what I think. I see Black Lives Matter also have a responsibility to teach. Once you get that kind of platform and you get that kind of following, you got responsibilities that come with that now that you might not have anticipated. And some of those responsibilities, one of those responsibilities is to teach your own people too. Because if you're going to come up with this, this protest, in which, man, I thought it was great. Like we were waiting for something like that. When you're going to come up with something like that, and you're going to have this grand platform, okay, you got to that point where we need somebody. We need a voice. And now you're that voice. Also with that comes more responsibility. And your responsibility is to teach, whether you want that responsibility or not. Your responsibility is to teach, so that when you're up there and when you're out there, you're saying these things. The things that you're saying have to be productive across the board. You don't have the luxury of missing this and missing that, which happens, but you gotta address it. You gotta address it. And then your decision and your words become so powerful that if they're not right, you can go from helping to damaging just like that.
I want to touch on the visual aspect. You made a statement saying, okay, they're throwing all this in 1965, they're beating us, they holding us down. Okay, I'm going to give you another visual. Let's go to the great state of Illinois, the city of Chicago. Think about this now. Visual now, right? Okay. Now, yeah, they're showing all these pictures, but when they walk out their house, think about this. How would you feel about a Black Lives Matter movement? Your cousin just got shot by another black person. You understand? You in the middle of gang violence. There's nothing but black people that are against you. Black people against black people. Now you come with this Black Lives Matter movement. Now you showing me these pictures, but I walk outside, they just killed my cousin. That was a black man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you gotta, but it's not just one person. These are millions of us that feel like this. So yeah, you can throw your Black Lives Matter campaign all you want. Hey man, but it's they've already been. You got to repair first. We have to repair.
We gotta repair. We gotta repair through education. We gotta repair through teaching.
That's what
See,
I
we
thought
gotta-
that movement was going to be about.
Yeah. So that movement has to address that. And that movement has to say, yo, look, when you walk out your door and you see these black people killing each other the way you see them killing each other, it's not just, it's because of all of these conditions, because black lives hasn't mattered. So that shouldn't be used as a knock against Black Lives Matter. That's not an excuse to say, oh, I'm not listening to y'all talking about Black Lives Matter when I see these black people killing each other. You got to address that, and you got to make them understand why you see these people killing each other.
It's not an excuse for us, but because of course we know we hear. You know what I mean? But for them, that's in that constant.
We in it too.
Yeah, we are. We are.
in it too.
We're in it too. We're in it too. But you understand what I'm saying? It's
But
like
that's you know what you're doing. That's psychological, bro. Because
it's like to
I feel
them,
like this. Back to
the
what we were
system
talking
gave
about.
up completely. You know, the schools were trashed. A lot of them dropped out. They have little to no education. You know what I'm saying? And all they know is street stuff. So it's like they've been. Let's just say the government did a good job of creating these projects
Exactly.
and embodying these people to where they don't have the access, or it makes it so hard for them to
That's
get
what we said.
the education.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They did a good job.
But that's exactly why we got to teach. Because we got to make them understand.
You got to give them a different way. You got to show them. You have to be able to show them a different way. You know what I'm saying? You have to, like you said, bro. You ain't said nothing wrong just now. Cause we were talking about the same thing earlier. A lot of these inner city kids, these kids that grew up in projects or however you want to call them, don't have the proper channels to see something different, to know that there's another way out. You understand?
But they got to understand what's happening to them.
Yeah.
Not only that, they don't think nobody's fighting for
But
them.
listen, we can't let our environment stop them from believing that Black Lives Matter. We can't let our environment stop them. And that's what's happening. That's sort of what you just described. When I come outside and I see this and that killing them, I ain't thinking about that Black Lives. So that means all these little policies and procedures that been in place for I don't know how long is working. Because that's what
They won.
they want. They want us to be discouraged by this and by that. But we have to make them understand that what's happening and what's going on around them and around us is not by accident. It's not incidental. It's about set up circumstances.
Correct.
And we got to make them understand that we can't allow the death of my cousin, the death of my brother to stop you from fighting.
Now that's the part that we have to teach.
That's where the responsibility comes in. When you are Black Lives Matter,
That's what
you
it
need
needs
to teach that. And like to your point, when you are Black Lives Matter, you have to take responsibility, and you have to make people take responsibility for our own selves.
So don't you would think that Black Lives Matter will be aware of the same issues that Building Bulls is aware of, you know what I mean? Us being, you know what I mean,
But see,
starting off the ground.
that
So
would be
what are they
another
not, what are they scared of? Are they scared to not address these issues?
I don't want to go so far to say that they have. I'll go so far as to say that I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got
And if I haven't heard that, then you're not speaking that loud enough.
You
You're
can't.
speaking the other stuff loud enough.
Yeah.
But you're not speaking this loud enough. You know, because I haven't heard this. I've heard everything else you said. Why haven't I heard this?
Yeah.
Speak it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Don't let situations turn into arguments. If I'm Black Lives Matter, if I'm leading that movement, and you come to me and you say to me, well, Black lives don't seem to matter in Chicago and this and that, I'm not going to let that turn into an argument.
No.
I'm going to address exactly what you said. Okay, yeah, Black Lives Matter needs to be in Chicago because of this stuff that you're saying. But don't say these things to me like that's just it. Black lives don't matter in Chicago.
That's not
like
true.
it's an accident. No. This is because what's happening in Chicago is because Black lives haven't mattered. So we're all encompassing. Like I said, right now I think that the focus when Black Lives Matter started and all that, the focus was on the police violence.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that that's all Black Lives Matter stand for. Because if that's all Black Lives Matter stand for, then I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter has to stand for all of it.
All of it.
It has to stand for all of it. And it has to speak up for all of it. And we got to also understand, too, that the media impacts what we hear.
Yeah.
And Black Lives Matter could still be out there. It could actually be doing all the things that we said we're doing, that we said it should be doing. But we ain't hearing it because media ain't playing it.
That is true.
That could be true. So what our responsibility becomes is that we make sure that we hear it.
Yeah.
We make sure that everything we get is not from there.
Yeah.
I would like to contact and see if there can be a state-to-state campaign. Like that should be a state-to-state campaign within the
Definitely.
cities, because it's something that's not. It's something that.
I think it is in a sense. I think you can find elements of Black Lives Matter almost everywhere now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But see, you can't. But see, here's the thing about Black Lives Matter, which is so important. Black Lives Matter cannot be just a movement. Movements die.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be a way of life.
Black Lives Matter has to be a way of life. It has to be an ideology.
Yeah.
When it's an ideology, we all accept it. There's no head on it. You can't kill a head and it die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Think about why they can't stop
ISIS.
ISIS, Islamic terrorism.
It's an
Because that's
ideology.
not a movement.
Mm-mm.
That's an ideology.
All they do is
so
change
you can
their
go
name.
kill
Yep.
all them heads all you want. Guess what? It's gonna grow up. It's gonna grow new heads.
It's a belief.
Because it's an ideology.
Yeah.
It's hard to kill ideology.
Mm-mm.
We need to develop positive ideologies for our people. We need to develop positive and spread positive ideologies by which we live, by which we grow, by which we teach to our children. It may not, the results, we'll get results. May not be in our time frame. We may not see the results, but we just the planners. We just the seers. But if we can start something to grow, by the time my daughter, your daughter's older, man, we'll be stronger people. We'll be more informed people. You know what I mean? We'll be more moral people. You know what I mean? Towards ourselves and, you know, towards the rest of the world, but most importantly, towards ourselves. Because we can't win nothing if we sitting up killing each other at the rate that we're killing each other now. When we talk to these young boys, I talked to the young boys a little while ago, and I asked the question. If you see a group of white people on this corner, you walking up the street by yourself, and then you see a group of black people on the other corner, what side of the street you gonna go to? Most of them said they'll walk past the white people before they walk past their own black people. You see what I'm saying?
Come from out.
That's
another trickle that's been set in this for so long.
Man,
Fearing our own people.
because everything that's been done to us has worked. We've been killing each other since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, we've been killing each other. And see, that oppression and all that stuff has caused real psychological and emotional damage, not just to us as individuals, but to us as a social group of people. Because my first exposure to racism was a black dude punching a white dude in the face. Now, I didn't know the history, but immediately I thought, well, damn, we bad, because this dude wasn't doing nothing. Now, I didn't know about all the stuff our people been through, and the fact that this dude reached over, reacted, and punched this white dude in the face because of everything that's been happening to our people and all that. I didn't know all of that. All I saw was him punch a man who wasn't doing nothing in the face. So that's where his anger was his motivating force.
Mm-hmm.
And his motivating force caused more damage to his own people, me. Because it didn't show me the truth. You know what I mean? It just showed me his feelings. So it made me think ill of him, of my own black man. Because he didn't sit down and say, hey, I feel this way about white people because this is what white people have been doing to us and this and that and all that prior to. He didn't do that. He just walked up and all I seen was, now this dude had been coming around my family all the time. And I never known him for nothing but another person. He was white. I knew that. I knew that. I could see that. But with me not knowing the history, I didn't think nothing other than he was just a different man. So when I see us come up and punch this man in the face for, in my opinion at that time, was nothing. That energy that came off of him was all anger, and it was damaging because it took my mom years later to explain to me what happened. But she also explained to me still what he did still wasn't right. This is why he did it. So I'm like,
You know what
now I'm starting to understand. It brought understanding to my overall perspective of that